Welcome back to our channel, where the stories they try to bury rise to inspire. Today's story is about a young man who was told his voice didn't belong in their world until it echoed across the globe. His name? Kwame Adomako. Kwame Adomako stood in front of the Rossford University lecture hall, his hands trembling, his breath caught somewhere between fear and pride. It was his first class presentation in front of 100 students, most of them white, all of them staring. He gripped the podium tighter, trying to summon strength from somewhere deep inside. My name is Kwame Adomako, and I'm here to present. He didn't even get past the second sentence before someone in the back interrupted. Bro, say that again? Another voice chimed in, louder this time. You sure you speak in English? Laughter erupted, not the kind that invites you in, but the kind that builds walls, sharp and cruel. Kwame's eyes scanned the room, searching for a friendly face. But none of them were laughing with him. And worse, the professor said nothing. The TA didn't meet his eyes. Silence from authority, noise from ignorance. That's what hurt the most. He tried to continue, swallowing his pride with every word, his voice cracking as he pushed through. He finished the presentation, barely, and when he returned to his seat, the applause was thin, more out of obligation than respect. He wanted to disappear, but he didn't, because back in Accra, Ghana, his father once told him, the world will try to measure you with rulers too crooked to be fair. So don't shrink. Stand taller. At Rossford, a prestigious Ivy League school nestled in the cold, distant corner of New England, Kwame was the only Ghanaian in his program. And though he spoke 5 languages fluently, it was the one language he didn't speak their way that they mocked. But rather than retreat, Kwame did what his ancestors had always done. He endured, he observed, and then he rose. While other students partied, Kwame studied. While they laughed at his pitch, he refined his delivery. Every panel, every open mic, every opportunity to be heard, he took it, not because he loved the sound of his voice, but because he was determined to make it impossible to ignore. He didn't just want to be understood. He wanted to be felt. By his 3rd year, Kwame had earned respect in small circles. He placed second in a business pitch competition, not because of pity, but because his idea was good. Yet even then, one judge told him, "You've got potential. Just try slowing down. Maybe work on the accent." That night, Kwame didn't sulk. He didn't rage. He Googled how to give a TED Talk. It seemed ridiculous. He didn't have connections. He wasn't a CEO, but he had something they couldn't teach. A story rooted in struggle, watered with grit, and blooming in purpose. Kwame didn't just want to launch a business. He wanted to build a bridge between continents, cultures, and voices. A platform where young African entrepreneurs could access global mentorship and capital. A space where no one would be told they had to sound American to be brilliant. He called it Speak Bold. The first version? Clunky. The traffic? Low. The feedback? Brutal. But Kwame didn't quit. He cold emailed every NGO he could find. Joined 3 a.m. Zoom calls with backers in London, Lagos, and Los Angeles. Some listened. Most didn't. One investor even said, "The idea is solid, but maybe find someone with a bit more polish to pitch it." Kwame just smiled. "My voice is the pitch," he said, and walked out. By graduation, Speak Bold had matched over 100 young Africans with global mentors. His user base was growing steadily. A Pan-African accelerator had just awarded him a grant. Things were finally taking shape. And then everything changed. His inbox pinged. Subject line, TEDx Boston, invitation to speak. Kwame thought it was spam, a prank, some elaborate joke. But it wasn't. One of the organizers had seen a YouTube clip of him presenting Speak Bold at a Nairobi conference. They were organizing a TEDx theme called Unheard Ideas, and Kwame's name kept coming up. Suddenly, the same voice they once mocked was being invited to speak to the world. The day of the TEDx talk arrived. Kwame stepped onto the stage. Same hands, same voice, same accent. But this time, the silence wasn't mocking. It was reverent. He adjusted the mic and began. In school, they told me my voice was too foreign, my accent too heavy. But here's what I learned. My voice only shook because the world was afraid of what it might move. For 17 minutes, he told stories, not just his own, but of girls in Ghana turning recycled plastic into fuel, of boys in Sierra Leone coding apps without internet, of forgotten geniuses building in silence, dreaming out loud. He ended with this: we don't need permission to lead, and we don't need to change how we sound to change the world. The room stood. They clapped. Some cried. Within 48 hours, the video had gone viral. Millions watched. Tens of thousands reached out. Messages poured in. I thought no one would take me seriously because of my accent, until I saw you. You sound like my uncle. You sound like home. His inbox was a flood of gratitude and recognition. He got calls from the UN, invites from Forbes, speaking requests from Ivy League schools that once dismissed him. And yet, he didn't forget. He returned to Rossford University, to the same lecture hall, same rows, same walls, same podium. But this time he held the mic by choice. And when he looked out into the crowd, he saw black and brown students sitting a little taller, because someone who sounded like them was now the voice everyone listened to. Black Struggles Untold isn't just about pain. It's about persistence, about a boy from Accra who was told he didn't speak the right way, and then taught the world that truth doesn't need to be translated. Kwame Adomako is no longer just a kid with the accent. He is a movement. He is a mirror for every young person who's been told to tone it down, to speak better, to sound more professional. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. And then let your story speak louder than your grammar. Because your accent, it's not a flaw. It's your fingerprint. It's your culture. It's your power. Today's story reminds us, you don't have to change who you are to be heard. You just have to believe that your voice matters. Don't just chase success. Speak bold. Build bridges. And when they try to silence you, turn your mic up. Thank you for watching today's story. If this moved you, inspired you, or reminded you of your own worth, don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more true stories they try to bury, but we refuse to forget. And let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Your voice matters here.